So remember, when you look for jobs, people or recruiters are not just looking for you and your degree, but they're looking for a package. It's your degree, your skills, your experiences, and all of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I have a gentleman here, and I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. He's going to help us with some of the questions that we get regarding careers and career path and career options, and also preparing for interviews. So without wasting any time, let me get into the interview. Sir, thank you for being here. I'm glad that you are here. I've been looking forward to this interview for, I don't know whether it's a year or months, but it's been a long time since I've been waiting for this interview.
Yeah,
so thank you so much for making the time. Maybe briefly, just give us a brief introduction about who's Mr. Maphetu, where you come from, and maybe share a bit also about your career path. What are you actually doing in your work at the moment?
Okay. Thank you for invitation, and I'm glad to be finally here. It's been a long time, but finally we're doing this. My name is Nhlanhla Maphetu. I originally from Soshanguve Kasi and grew up there. So studied at UNISA. But before then, I did a matric at Ritumets in Sosha, quite a famous school in Soshanguve. So I studied there and also did my degrees at UNISA. So for my degrees, I studied psychology, majored in psychology, physiology, and genetics. Progressed to do my honors in psychology. Then I was like, I have other interests. So I did another honors in physiology. Then I was like, I really like this. So I progressed and did a master's in physiology, which mostly about plants, medicinal plants, and all of that. And from there, but during my undergrad studies, while I was doing my degree, someone told me about this program at UNISA. It was called Peer Helper. So
yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so they were like, this program at UNISA, they help people. I was like, and I was still a student, didn't know what to do with my degree. So I enrolled for that program, got selected. So volunteered for a year, got trained, and from there did another year contract for assistant student counselor. From there did an internship with the same organization, which is UNISA DCCD, or Directorate of Career Counseling. And from there did a internship for a year in 2016, which was more on a trainee career guidance practitioner. From there, moved from there and worked for University of Pretoria as a student advisor. From there, moved from there to UCT, where I'm currently a career advisor. Which so essentially I've gained, my path was always about advising and career advising, so which I really like, because that's where initially I got training in, and I really enjoy it, because it's all about helping and assisting people to understand careers and get perspective of what else can be done. And on the side, things which I'm more passionate about, it's research, and I'm doing my master's. Hopefully I'll do other things and do a PhD in that route, but I really enjoy research, specifically in physiology, but my passion also lies in helping people, which is why I'm in this career. So I have almost 8 years, still developing, still learning, but the information which I have seen and the cohort of students which I have served, it's all about who and how you can help them, and regardless of where you come from, you can always help someone and give someone information. So hence I like this field of psychology or student advising roles. So yeah, that's in a nutshell all about my professional experience and where I'm from.
Wow. No, thank you so much. Yeah, it shows that you have been around in this career field, and I think that's what actually makes you then the best to advise those who are watching about their career path. But last time when I spoke to you, I knew you were, I think you shared that you're from Social, but I didn't know you're from Redumates as well.
Yes, I did my grade 10, 11, and 12 there. Around 2000 and, oh, now I'm going out with my age, but it was 2000. I did my matric 2009. That means I started there around 2008, 9, 7.
Wow. Are you from Block L?
No, I'm from Social Extension Tech. Yeah.
Did I tell you I did my matric at Redumates as well?
No, no, not a coincidence. No,
maybe I was in your class.
It could be.
I'm telling you, that I'm shocked that when we spoke, I think we spoke about Social, but we never spoke about matric. I completed matric there, I think in 2002, yeah, if not 2003.
Yeah, I know that was long before me. I was still in secondary or primary by then.
Yeah, no, man, super, man, good stuff. Yeah, I think your career path is very interesting, and I'm glad that you are here to guide us, because you've been in the field for a long time and you got exposed into opportunities that exist out there. And I think that's what actually made me to really desire that you be part of the interview, because the more you work in the field, the more you start to know things that ordinarily other people might not know. And that's what I want to get into. So without wasting time, maybe let's get into that information, because there are many people watching who are interested to know what opportunities exist. I speak to people in BSc, I speak to people in education, I speak to people in psychology degrees and all that. And I'm glad that you come from also from that background, you know, and they don't know what to do when they complete their degrees. Are there any advice or platforms that you can share about that people can consider to check for employability or job opportunities?
Okay. Thanks for the question. So the first thing which I would really encourage one to do with the degree that you're doing, first, look at the degree that you're doing. And I understand that when we look for jobs, mostly it's, if I'm doing a BSc, maybe in psychology or physiology, as an example, I would say jobs in physiology. So what I would encourage you to do, look at the different things that you have done in your degree, such as your majors, the experiences that you got exposed at, because those also determine how you present yourself. And those also gives the different skills that you might have excluded from your CV or how you present yourself to an employer. Because your degree only, so remember when you look for jobs, people or recruiters are not just looking for you and your degree, but they're looking for a package. It's your degree, your skills, your experiences, and all of that. So firstly, identify your value proposition, which is mostly about the things that you have to offer, such as skills and experiences. If you don't have experiences, think of the skills that you have gained from your degree. This, I will really emphasize that, look at your majors. If you did 3 majors, explore and look for all of those fields in all of those things. If you're doing psychology, sociology, and maybe political sciences, explore those different avenues so that you don't just say Bachelor of Social Science jobs, because you'll be narrowing yourself and really limiting yourself. So explore all your majors, because each and every major has different opportunities. That's the number one. And number two, we always speak about engaging with different people, seeing who has done what and all of that. So expose yourself to different people, speak to people, and I can understand that it could not be as easy as it sounds, but reach out to different people. And if you see that someone has done a qualification similar to yours, reach out to them and ask for their guidance. So what I've also realized that people, when they reach out, they ask for work. Don't ask for work, ask for advice or coaching or mentorship, because that person might connect you to other people. That's another thing. And on how you go about identifying different opportunities, there's quite a number of platforms. Firstly, I'll speak about LinkedIn because I think it's underused for mostly some of us. So use LinkedIn because there you get to see opportunities in terms of jobs. You get to see different people. You also see different organizations. So how you go about using LinkedIn is when you search, use different keywords. For instance, if you're doing psychology, I'll give an example based on psychology. So if you're doing psychology, think about what do you want to do within that field. If you want to make an impact in a community, maybe think about what kind of jobs will that like expose you to? What kind of opportunity will that look like? Maybe it will be either a counselor, a community developer, or a youth community liaison, or a policy researcher, all of that. So look for people in those spaces. Search that specific job title. And what can help you with identifying those job titles? It's a website called prospects.ac.uk. I'll just share the link. I'll just provide you the link. So Prospects is one of the most underused website because it gives you perspectives in terms. If you're doing psychology, you'll see the different alternative careers that you can use. And it will give you information about your majors, the different roles that you can secure, and how you go about finding those companies, and the different skills that you would have gained from doing that specific degree. So it ranges from accounting to finance to zoology towards the end. So it's cut across all the different majors. Secondly, I spoke about LinkedIn. And thirdly, it's a government website, which is EDHE. It's called National, is it NCAP, or which is Career Help website, CAT. It's also informative, and it gives one perspective in terms of how you go about identify different careers, and also to learn about what you can do with your degree, and also gives you an idea of, because most of people, when we look for job, we always worried about what are the trending jobs, or where can I find a green career and all of that. So that website can help you with identifying those 2 things or 3 things. And the other one is identify university pages. Universities have so much information, and it's free, it's open source. So firstly, identify the universities and just go to their career page or their faculties page. I know of one, which is UNISA. They have a lot of information about career development and finding information. So under UNISA website, I think it's the DCCD website. They have free resources and podcasts, and like, I know people don't like reading a lot now. They just listen to 5 minutes videos, sounds, and all of that. So they also have that option. There's things about accounting at UNISA, which speaks about accounting, but broadly, but they focus on UNISA qualification, but opportunities in there, it's to everyone. And they also give you the process to reflect about, if you are you want to find jobs, these are the different steps you need to do. Reflect about what you want to do, reflect about the impact you want to make, and from there, how do you identify opportunities? So that process, from accounting to psychology to business to communication to psychology and zoology, like all of the BScs and everything, it's there. The other ones, it's the different universities. I know UCT has one as well on their career page, and also international universities, they also have good information, which I'll also encourage you to look at. And there's also this specific website called, I just want to refer, ONET Online. ONET. So it's ONET Online. They also have good information about career reflections and career identification opportunities, which can help one to find and do career research and identify opportunities. So those are some of the websites that I will encourage people to use and utilize them. These websites, they're free and they're open to everyone who has to have access to them.
Okay. No, thank you for that. I think you've given a number of sites that people can look into. I think what I will do, I will put the link to all of them below this video. I think the only one that I'm more familiar is Keta, because at least I've been to their site. And LinkedIn, actually LinkedIn, I did a video on how to search jobs on LinkedIn. That's where I live. I spend most of my life there.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
good platform, and people are always undermining it. And I
Yeah.
I can imagine the pressure which people post and update regularly. But that's where you get to also build your professional brand as well,
Mm,
because you get to mix with different connections and different
mm,
professionals. You
mm,
get to identify different people, search as much as you can, and identify as much opportunities as you can. And it will help you with a number of things, because it's not just a professional connection website, but it also
mm,
helps with different things as well. So
mm.
search and find as much information as you can.
Okay. No, super then. And in terms of like career opportunities, are they particular field that maybe you might have come across to say people must consider this field because there are a lot of opportunities in them? Is there something of that nature?
Um, okay, that could be as broad, depending on which qualification one might be doing. But now, with the rise of technology, digital tools, and all of that, one thing which I also realized, which is very interesting, it's most humanities student. I'm
Mm,
saying humanities as a whole, from political science, communications, psychology, sociology, like all humanities. We find that most students are entering the technology field, which is more on UX design, UI design, and product manager or product design, and all of that, which is very interesting, because those fields we always thought they're only for tech people who are doing engineering or computer science, but we find that most humanities students are entering that field. It's mainly because humanities give you a multidisciplinary skills, which allows you to enter those fields, because you interact easily with people. You learn mostly interpersonal or soft skills, which could be transferable in different fields. And as I always say, in each and every field, you need to communicate, regardless of how you communicate. It could be verbally, through writing, or through a sign language, or via text, emails, or all of that. All of those things, you still need to communicate, which through your humanities degree, you learn that more effectively, and you need to think about how you can make that to look for employment. So those are
mm,
some of the things that identify your skills, how you can use those skills to enter that field. And with your humanities degree, because you gain so much experience and skills, use those. And I will encourage people, especially humanities, to enter or to apply for mostly those opportunities, which is more UX design, UI design, and product manager or product design. And what's the other one? It's mostly data related fields, which are also emerging and growing. So those ones, I see that that's where most opportunities are opening up. And because now there's so much data, there's more opportunities in data science or data analytics, which it's very interesting. Hence, most courses have coding now and programming. So that's one of those are two of the most common opportunities which I have come across, and most people are they want to get into that. And also the field of machine learning, I've realized that it's opening up new opportunities for new people. So
mm.
if someone is interested in that field, they can read a lot about that. Just search machine learning, and you will see that there's some interesting opportunities in that field. So it's data science, data analysis, machine learning. So mostly it's all about AI, digital tool, and technology. That's where, because we are entering that field, that industry of tech. So hence, I assume,
Okay.
not assume, I know from experience, depending on, based on how I've interacted with a number of people and the different companies and different individuals on how to identify opportunity. That's where careers are, mostly people are getting there. So it's not that AI will take your jobs and all of that. It's just opening new opportunities for new people
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
for you to enter there. So especially for humanities students, I would encourage them to go that way if they're interested in tech.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, in other words, basically they must go with the times. I mean,
Yes.
4IR is taking over now, so you try to align yourself. And I like what you are saying, that they need to diversify themselves. Let them not be fixated to, I'm a sociology graduate, I'm a
Yeah.
psychology graduate, I'm a communication graduate.
Mm.
Diversify yourself, enter into this other field that has to do with technology. You rather specialize in technology related developments within your field of study. In that way, you are becoming more relevant. So that's
Yes.
awesome stuff, and I like that. But then, in terms of, because you worked with students and people from different fields, and ultimately, this thing of career must lead to employment. In
Yes.
your own view and assessment, what do you say is one of the hindering aspect for people not to get a job? What have you noticed around your field when you work with people, that these people will struggle because of this particular thing?
It could be. So the question, thank you for that question. It's a great one, but it has multiple answers depending on where one comes from. But firstly, I'll just pick from the generic one, which is more underrepresentation or not knowing how to present yourself. And this mainly it's from your skills, and identify what kind of skills you have and how you can use those skills or how to present them so that you can be employed. That's number one. Number two, also it depends on your like if someone has more confidence and you don't feel the imposter syndrome to say that I know I have a degree, but I'm not sure if I'll be the best or not. That also hinders a lot of people to get into different spaces because they limit themselves a lot. Number three, it's also based on get as much experience as you can while you're still a student, or get, if your community offers services, volunteer and do things, regardless of what field or what experience you get. That experience is still as relevant as it can be. So expose yourself to different things. If your community allows you to volunteer at a church or a crèche, do things, help people, because those skills are transferable and you can use them. For instance, if you volunteer at a crèche, you're helping people, you interact with different people, you learn about communicating, you learn how to work in a team, you learn how to wake up every day, time management, you plan, you do things. And those things, you'll still need them in a corporate or big companies and all of that, because every time you still need to plan and do certain things. So those are some of the things which I encourage people to do, and learn how to present your skills in a CV. That's very important, because we see a number of CVs and people don't really know how to present their skills, which is, it could be hindering to when one assesses your CV. They given you requirement to say that we want someone who can communicate, who can work very well with others, and who has this kind of experience. And we just include skills because we think that we have so much skills, but we're not really targeting what they are indicating. So the other thing is target your CV specifically to what the job wants. So that's very important also, because recruiters out there, they want someone who's aligned to the job that they're advertising. So that's another thing which I'll also encourage you to do, and don't limit yourself to say that, as you mentioned, that if you are a sociology student, don't limit yourself that you're looking for jobs in sociology or social sciences only. There's a whole new field out there, and open and spread as much as you can and explore and do as much as you can and apply to various sectors. As long as a job does not say that they want someone with an engineering degree, as long as they say they want a degree, apply. Don't say that because they say they want the BCom in, if they say they want someone in BCom and you know that you have a marketing or finance, of apply, because they have not specified, but you have a commerce experience, apply. And
Awesome.
apply to as much as you can.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm glad you also touched on the CV. Maybe just to go back to that again, if you can briefly maybe just share one or two key points about a CV. I know you mentioned about the relevance of the CV, but are they maybe just 2 points that you want to maybe emphasize from what you said, or maybe other ones that you want to add just one or two about what is key when somebody develop their CV for an advertisement or for an job ad.
Okay. For a CV, firstly target your CV. Don't make one CV like one size fit all CV, which it's not always a good idea. Yeah. No, don't do that. I'll encourage you, if you have 5 jobs that you identify and you want to apply for, make 5 CVs for each and every job. Because even though, for instance, you want to apply for a psychology position, for a psychologist position, you'll see that different companies have different requirements, even though the same position. So make sure that you meet or you tailor your CV based on the requirements that they have listed. That means you need 5 different CVs. So tailoring your CV is key. And on how you go about that, you need to be as concise as you can, keep it short as you can. Don't make long CVs, because that also takes away the attention of a recruiter or someone who will be assessing your CV to say that, no, this is too long. I'm not going to read a whole essay about your experience. So be as concise as you can. And there are different platforms which can help you with that. Number 1, LinkedIn again can help you with that. Number 2, it's a website called EDHE.com. It has things from your cover letter to your CV, which can help you. The other one, it's called resume.io. And the other one is themoves.com, which those 3 websites, I will encourage you to use them because they help you with identifying how to make your CV, how to structure it, and what kind of content to include in there. And just additionally to that, make sure that you have your contact details and you don't include as much personal information as you can, such as your address, your gender, where you're from, and all of those things. Just include your name and surname, telephone number, or your cell phone and email, or your LinkedIn profile, or your portfolio if you do have. That's it. And you don't include as much personal information as you can, and you include things such as your education, experience. Create a section for skills which need to be tailored to the job requirement that you are applying for. So that section, I'll encourage you, or I encourage anyone who's applying, to change that section every time they apply for a job to meet or to be aligned to the job that they're applying for. So the skills.
What about the picture? I see now people have got a photo album in the front of the CV.
Yeah, with the picture, I'll encourage one to read what the job wants, the job requirement, because on the job post, at times they'll say they want the picture, at times they don't indicate anything, so don't include it. Only include when requested, because the other thing is, remember, a CV, it's a package of, it's part of your application package. You have your ID document or your identity document or your passport. You also have your CV. You also have your transcript or metric or your certificate. So in your ID, you have your picture there. Or if you include your LinkedIn link, you have your image there. So no need to share it there, unless if they say, we want to see who you are. So then you can share it. But other than that, you can always share your link to LinkedIn, which has those things there.
Awesome. I like that. I think the most important thing is that one to know that every job requires a specific CV.
Yes.
You can't have one CV for all jobs that you are applying for. So every time you see an advert, make a new CV for that particular advert. So that is one of the key things. And obviously, the application, at the end of the day, we want to either secure an interview or at least ultimately secure the job. Maybe touching on the interview, are the key things that maybe people need to know when it gets to the interview? Because you get some people who are very good on CV, they get invited to many interviews, but they hardly get the job. Yeah. What are the tips that you can give people, particularly when it comes to an interview?
Right, great one. With interviews, it could be tricky, and the one thing is confidence is still the key. Make sure that you are as confident as you can be, and that's where you need to motivate yourself and practice as much as you can. So practice is also key. To build confidence, you need to practice. And how you go about practicing, there are different ways you can go about that. Firstly, find someone you can trust, you can be vulnerable next to. So this means that someone you need to open up to, they need to interview you, do as much exercise as you can. They ask you questions, you answer them. And be as professional as you can be. And that person needs to give you constructive feedback. They don't have to say that, but if you change this one to this, and I think, so they need to be as assertive as they can and give you feedback to say that you mentioned 1, 2, 3, but here is something that you can improve and work on so that you can be as confident as you can. And there are also different tools which can help you if you can't find that kind of a person. Number one, also LinkedIn. Under LinkedIn, under jobs tab, there's like a tab on your left-hand side, which has different topics. One of those topics is interview preparation. There's different questions, and you can record yourself or do video. And you can always delete it so that people don't see, but it won't be posted on your timeline. So you can use that section to practice and see how you answer questions. This will help you with answering questions so that you don't speak too fast or you don't speak too slow, but you speak with your natural voice and you practice and you transcribe your words and you eliminate non-verbal or non-conventional words such as yeah, those kind of words. So those are kind of tools that you can use. Secondly, it's using Google Warm Up. It's an app developed by Google. It's called Google Warm Up. It helps you with, you identify the sector or the questions of the industry, and it will say, like, let's practice your interview, and you record and you transcribe your words. It asks you questions, you answer them as you go along, and you just have to listen to yourself, because listening to yourself has some vulnerability to it, and it helps you to identify where you can improve and all of that. So it can help you with that one. Number 3, it's a YouTube videos, which there's a lot of them, but they haven't paid me and I'm not promoting them, I'm just recommending.
Yeah, one of them is this one.
Exactly. Exactly, because you have a number of career management and development material which people can use and work on that. The other one, it's a guy called Richard McMahon. His page is called Career Wise. So here, what I will encourage people to learn is the structure of how to structure their answers during an interview. Not to steal the way he says things, but to structure their questions, their answers, I mean. So just listen to them, just on how you can structure your answers when being answered. So remember, on LinkedIn, you get questions. On Google Warm Up, you learn about how to say it and how to transcribe it. Thirdly, how to get the structure. I'll encourage you to use the different YouTube channels, and one of them is this one. So I'll encourage
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I think I'll get the link for the one that you also shared about, so that we can edit below at the description.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I think you've shared various sites. I will also put them there so that people can use them. They're actually very, very helpful sites that people can follow. Now, in conclusion, there might be somebody watching now, and I mean, you've shared a lot of things, and I want to know where to from here. Let's say I end this video, where can be the starting point for that person to start in terms of preparation to get into a job, or at least start to apply and expose themselves? Are there maybe 3 steps or 5 steps that you can give somebody? When you stop this video, start here and take it from there moving forward.
Okay.
Step by step.
The different steps. Number 1, first, after listening to the video, what you can do is sit down and reflect on what do you need to do? Where do you want to work? What kind of impact do you want to do? Identify those things. Number 1, for instance, you're passionate about people, you like working with people. Identify how would you like to work with people. That's number 1. Maybe you'll say, I like working with people, maybe in communities. You identify a community. In a community, what will you be doing? That's your second thing. Like, what will you be doing to help those people? If you want to teach, that's where you identify your career. Or I want to teach. Then look at which companies hire teaching people, or where can you work in teaching. It's either government, private, or you work as a freelancer so that you do additional things on the side. So you identify those three things. Next, you look at how can I go about finding the roles in that field. But before you find the roles, remember also you need to make a CV. Make a bucket CV which cut across all things. Your bucket CV is like a generic CV which has everything that you have done. That will help you to tailor your CV specifically for the different roles that you might have identified for your teaching roles. So if you go to LinkedIn or job Career 24 or Career Wise or Indeed or LinkedIn or in NGO Pulse website or all of those job searching sites, you find teaching jobs. You'll find different careers in terms of the different requirements for that specific job. Identify them and align them to what they want. Identify the different skills so that they can help you identify the different things that you need to include in your CV. So once you have done that, that means you need to apply. And after applying, you need to track your application process as well, so that you don't lose track of when and how you applied about. And there's a number of things which can help you with that one. I have a number of tools which can help one do that, but I guess you can also share them. But towards the end, on helping you with this process, because now we apply a lot online, there's what we call Simplify. It's a Google Chrome extension which one can use to autofill. The other one is Job Analytics to identify gaps in a CV. And the other one is Loop CV, which helps you to automate your applications across different platforms. And the other one is it's Tail. It's a job tracking software which helps you to. It's more like a spreadsheet, just to help you identify where and how you applied for the different jobs. These things are free, they're open, and they're available out there, and you can use them so that you make your job searching journey a little bit easier and more efficiently as well. But the different steps: identify what you want to do, identify the different skills that you might need for each and every role that you apply. That will help you to tailor your CV specifically for the role that you're applying for. So your CV, it's an impression, and it will help you to identify or to get an interview. And once you get an interview, that's where you use the other platforms. But I think the challenging first stage is identifying what you want to do, finding job, and tailoring your CV, which I will encourage you, one, to use those steps, skills, and identify how are they aligned to the job that you're applying for.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think what I will do, all the links that you are sharing, we'll put them at the bottom so that people can access them.
Yeah.
I will confirm them, their full name after this video, but they will be there in the description by the time when it goes live. So thank you for sharing that. I think what we shared is very informative, and many people out there who are looking for jobs can be able to follow up on the different sites that you spoke about. But maybe before I let you go, any last words of encouragement to any person out there who have been looking for a job and it seems like the world is against them? They apply.
No.
People say, I've applied over 50 jobs, no response.
Yeah,
that's encouragement.
Yeah, that's true. And I can imagine it could be as difficult as it gets. And one other thing, it's don't give up. I think one or two things will align and you get what you're looking for. And it's not easy, but at the same time, it's still possible to get what you want. So don't give up and keep applying and keep applying. Just make sure that you don't give up, because when you give up and you're like, I don't know what to do. And don't underestimate small little roles. Get involved. If you get an interview to do maybe a reception job, take it, because that could be a step to other opportunities, because that's where most people get job. If it's a volunteering job, take it, and because that might lead to other things as well. And I can understand that you might need to earn money and all of that. Maybe you could negotiate those things once you are in, and to say that, you know what, I can't travel, or I can't do 1, 2, 3, 4 things, but I might need some stipend so that I can travel. Because at the end of the day, you need some experience so that you can be able to apply for other jobs. So I encourage you to take those small opportunities as much as they come, take them.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Nhlanhla Maphetu. So, I really appreciate your time. I think we've only spent about 30 to 40 minutes, but we have shared such informative resources that one can check. I was just calculating. I think we've shared close to 15 links in this short space of time.
Yeah, so, what I will also do is I'll try to group them so that it's career research, CV, interview, and different AI tools. Yeah.
Perfect. No, thank you so much. I'll be looking forward to that. And all the people watching this can check them below this video. On the description section, you can check all these links that Mr. Maphetu has shared about. So thank you so much, sir. And I'm hoping next time we can do a follow-up just to add into this, depending on what will be the employment status at that time. I think now it's still a bit bleak. People are struggling. We're hoping things can change as we move into more for IR, and we can do and focus on other things and fields that are more active and are employing and people can look into. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you for the invitation, and all the best to everyone, and thank you.